Roxo Media House.
Here's Morris. In trouble. Lets it go. Caught. And not enough for the first down on fourth down. The Colorado defense holds.
Welcome back to the State of the Frogs, Season 2. I'm your host, J.W. Wilson. We have with you our head coach, Sonny Dykes, fresh off the TCU Colorado game. Generally, Coach, we'll get right into it. From a college football fan perspective, it was a hell of a game played Saturday. From a TCU perspective, obviously we came a little bit short. Any thoughts, comments you could share with us on that?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a hard-fought ball game. Obviously, a lot of good football players on the field. We knew going in that Colorado was going to be a tough prep. We didn't have a lot of information on, kind of what they were going to do. We weren't quite sure. Obviously we had a lot of film we could look at, previous stops with the coordinators, but, trying to mesh it all together and get a game plan together was a little bit tough. But, I thought our guys played hard. I thought, we had an opportunity to win the game at the end of the game. We played about as poorly as we could. And to still have a chance to put together a drive at the end and drive down the field and have a chance to win, I was encouraged by that. Obviously, we didn't play winning football. That's kind of what at the end of the day hurt us. I mean, that's what we did so well last year was, we played 15 games last year and lost and won the turnover battle or were even in the turnover battle in 13 of them. And, turned the ball over twice through 2 red zone interceptions, which was obviously very costly, missed a field goal. That's kind of atypical of us. And when you do those type of things, you get beat.
Yes, sir. For perspective, this is your first home loss at TCU. After that magical ride you took us on last year, it's an unfair expectation for fans to expect us to never lose again or never lose at home for that matter.
That's okay. I kind of expected it too. Certainly didn't expect it to be Saturday, and I was disappointed overall. I mean, just the way we performed and when you don't play well, you got to look in the mirror. It starts with coaching, and we obviously didn't do a great job getting our players ready to play. We've got to do a better job with that. Thought Colorado was more ready to play, more excited to play. Felt like they had something to prove, and we got to play with an edge, and we didn't play with that, and we got to do a better job of finding that edge for our players.
In that vein, we had a chance to sit down with Urban Meyer for that exact comment on the expectation and how it's unfair sometimes for fans to see what they see and believe what they believe. Go ahead and turn that over to Urban Meyer's comments right now.
Of course it's not fair, but they don't pay you to be fair. They pay you to win. And Mac Brown used to tell me, we used to joke all the time, he said, I got good news and bad news. Good news is you won a national championship. Bad news is you won a national championship because that becomes the only thing that's acceptable. And Sonny's done it. Is it fair? No, but no one's going to ask him if it's fair. So anything less than maybe not a playoff, but they have to get the championship game, or that'd be a failure at TCU.
Coach, comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some truth to that. I mean, look, our goal is to win every game. I mean, that's our job. That's why I came here, is because I wanted to be someplace where we had very high expectations and we could fulfill those expectations. And every year is different. Every team is different. We didn't play well Saturday. The good thing is we have 11 opportunities to get that ship righted and play better, and we will. No question. This is a good football team. We've got a lot of things we have to improve on. Like I said, I was very disappointed, but I know at the same time the guys will play well.
All right. You mentioned several times in the press, specifically the 2 turnovers in the red zone. Your quarterback Chandler Morris, although he moved the offense up and down the field, he had a chance to speak about those specific turnovers. We had comments here.
That first interception, I was late getting back. I gotta recognize it quicker. Getting back to Wiley, and that's on me. And then the second one, I mean, he made a great play. We had the look that we wanted, and he made a great play. But then again, I gotta protect the football. They were bringing a little more pressure than we thought they would. But I mean, we were prepared for it. We knew where our hots were and where to get the ball out at. So yeah, this moment's not going to define us as a football team, and we're going to make sure that this is going to refine us. And we gotta move forward. Learn from the mistakes today. That wasn't TCU football. That was not our standard. And we just got to go to work, and we got to go harder than ever. And especially me. And I promised them, and I promise my team and coaches that I'm going to go harder than ever.
We can't forget this is Chandler Morris's second start ever here at TCU, and albeit he did move the offense and he did score a lot of points, but he has natural growing pains being his second start ever. Comments on that?
Yeah. Look, I think quarterback play is very, very important. I mean, you look at Shedeur Sanders and the way he played Saturday. I mean, he really, really played well, and thought Chandler played well. Shedeur's been a multi-year starter. I think this is his third year as a starting quarterback, and he played like he had a lot of experience. And now this was a bigger stage than what he'd played on in the past, but he's played a lot of football, and he played like a veteran. And I thought Chandler did a lot of good things Saturday. Certainly played well enough for us to win the game. When you score 42 points, you probably ought to win that game and have close to 600 yards of offense, and in particular ran for over 250. And so when you rush for over 250 yards, you usually don't lose ball games, but when you do, turnovers are usually the reason. And I think there's a lot of things that went wrong Saturday. Certainly turning the ball over twice was part of it, but there were a lot of other things too. We certainly didn't play defense the way we're accustomed to. We didn't tackle well. We didn't run to the football like we normally do. We didn't do a great job creating turnovers. And so, there's a lot of things we can improve on. As I said earlier, we missed a field goal, so certainly we have to do that. And, there's plenty of blame to go around from different people. And again, what it comes down to is us doing a better job getting our players ready to perform at the level that they're expected to perform at.
The reality is it's still a non-conference game for this year. Obviously, that's about to change, but your goals are still in front of you. The team goals are still in front of you. Does the team still understand that dynamic?
Yeah. Certainly, when I talk to the team, Sunday we talked a lot about things we have to do to improve, but we also said, look, last year Kansas State lost a game very similar to this to Tulane, and got beat by a team that they were significant favorites, and Tulane figured out how to beat them, and Kansas State went on to win the Big 12. And so, that's got to be our challenge, is to put this behind us. We got to learn from it. We got to make sure that we are a better football team because of this, and I think we will be. And the bad thing about Saturday, we're not going to get it back. You only get 12 opportunities to play college football every year, and we're not going to get a chance to redo this one. And so we've got to do a better job of making sure that the next time we play at home, that we play better and figure out a way to win the football game.
For a little drill down on that comment you made, is it possible to understand when you gave that message to the team on Sunday? Do you see a reaction? Do they get it? Do they get what you're telling them?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, I think they were disappointed, and that's what you want. You want your players to be disappointed, and you want them to to hurt, and you want them to be invested, and I would have grave concerns if they weren't. And so, that was the good thing is I had an opportunity to speak to the team on Sunday. You can tell they were disappointed. And, we had a pretty significantly long practice yesterday, a physical practice. And, and day after games, not normally something that we do, but I think we all felt like we needed it to get better. And the players understood that, and they came with a great attitude. And we had a good practice and hopefully improved in some areas that we needed to improve in. And I think the guys understand, again, it wasn't the way to start the season, but last year we started 12-0, and this didn't end the way we wanted it to. And so what we need to do is figure out a way to turn this negative into a positive and make sure we get refocused and understand that winning football is hard. There was a lot of football games last year that played out like this one. The difference was we made plays down the stretch, and we didn't do that on Saturday. We didn't get the stops defensively that we got last year, and we didn't string together that game-winning drive that we did over and over last year. And we got in this opportunity Saturday because we didn't make plays early in the ball game, and it wasn't just in the end. It was throughout the game. And so a lot of things to improve on, a lot of ways we can do it, and we're ready to get back out and get it going.
This is the State of Frogs with your head coach Sonny Dykes. We'll be right back.
We wouldn't be able to do the things we were able to do this year without the Flying T Club. So we got to continue to get people involved. It's more important right now than it's ever been.
Flying T is special. It's the best thing that I've encountered in college. It allows us to be able to offset a lot of the costs that our scholarships aren't able to cover. If people like winning, invest in the Flying T Club and NIL.
It's almost a necessity now in the college football world. I mean, you got to kind of invest in the programs, and what you put in is what you get out.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. Coach, every week we give the opportunity to a student athlete here, or to ask you a question. Today's question comes from Emily, Peyton, and Bell. Here's your question.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a freshman. I'm a business major, and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, I'm Peyton. I'm a business major. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri as well.
And I'm Belle. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm a business major.
And my question for Coach is, what is your game day routine?
My question for Coach is, what's your favorite part about game day at the Carter?
Coach, what do you think?
Yeah, obviously the Carter's a great place that's a great home field advantage. It's a great stadium to be in. You can feel, the support. It's a loud environment. It's exciting for our players. I think we have one of the best student bodies in all of college football. I mean, they're dedicated. They love all the athletic teams, certainly the football team as well, and very supportive. And you can feel the appreciation and the love when we play at home, and that's a big thing, and it certainly motivates our players.
Thank you, Emily, Peyton, and Bell, for that question. Coach, on a more serious note, after a letdown like we had Saturday, how do you personally regroup yourself?
Well, the biggest thing is you got to go home and try to figure out why it happened. So obviously spent a lot of time Saturday night self-reflecting, and got to work early Sunday morning. I think we got here about 4:30 in the morning, and started working on the next opponent. And that's just the way this business is. I mean, we don't have a lot of time for self-pity and to wallow around. And we have another opponent coming in here this week, at Nicholls State, a team that would love to beat us, and certainly would be a feather in their cap. And one of the things that we're going to have to learn as a program here at TCU is to play with a target on our back. When you play in the national championship game, people are going to try to beat you, and it's a big feather in their cap when they can. And so what we have to do is make sure that we're extra prepared and do everything we can to ensure it doesn't happen again. So, we got after it again Saturday, and I think the key is to improve and get better, and to make sure that none of the things that happened that were negative for us happen again.
We'll be right back with a Nicholls State preview with the State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. Thanks in part to our friends at the Railhead Barbecue.
Simply the best barbecue in Fort Worth. Dine in, catering, or drive-through. 2900 Montgomery, just off I-30. Remember, the best barbecue in Fort Worth is at Railhead Smokehouse.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. This Saturday, 7 p.m. kickoff, Nicholls State, the Colonels from Thibodaux, Louisiana, out of the Southland Conference. Coach, what should TCU fans expect out of Nicholls State?
Well, it's a football team that I was really impressed with. It's an offense that's exciting. They've got a couple of big play wide receivers. Quincy Brown, who was actually here at TCU, is one of their receivers. They do a good job trying to get Quincy the ball. He's a big, long, athletic guy that can run. They've got a quarterback that makes a lot of plays, a left-handed quarterback, and throws well on the run. Got a shifty running back. They got a big offensive tackle. The left tackle is a guy that I've been really impressed with on tape. He's physical, good run blocker and pass protector as well. Defensively, they're going to show you a lot of different looks. Play some man on the back end, but primarily a zone blitz team. And they will try to confuse you, keep you off balance. 4-down look and play with a kind of a 4-2-5 a defensive front. On special teams, pretty solid. They gave up a punt return last week, pretty significant punt return against Portland State. So it's one of the things that we're going to have to really do a good job this week is generating some plays on special teams. In the kick return game, punt return game, and be really sound on special teams. So good overall team. Tim Rebo's the head coach. He's had a lot of success. He's been at Nicholls for a long time now. He's always been a winner everywhere he's been in the past. They've figured out ways to win, and this team will be excited to play against us on Saturday, and they'll come out and play free football, and they got nothing to lose. And so we'll probably see everything, and we're going to have to prepare for it, and like I said, do a better job than we did last week.
Tim Rebo, you mentioned he's been there 9 years, winningest coach in Nicholls State history. He actually coached Ed Reed in high school. I thought that was interesting. Any relationship with him? Yeah, I know Tim pretty well. I've known him for a long time. I spent some time in Louisiana, and Tim's one of those guys that's very well known throughout the state.
when I first started coaching in the area, I was at Louisiana Monroe in 1998 as an assistant coach, and met Tim then, and used to hear about him all the time going back to that. And then my 3 years at Louisiana Tech, Tim Rebo was a name that I always heard in Louisiana, and does a great job recruiting down there, has a great relationship with high school coaches, very well known, very well respected. And he's one of those coaches that's always going to find some diamonds in the rough. I mean, he's always going to have players on his teams that from Louisiana that may get overlooked, but they're really good football players. And guys always play hard and always play with an edge.
Nicholls State's coming off a loss last week to Sacramento State.
I said Portland State earlier. I meant Sacramento State.
Sacramento
excuse me.
State, yeah, that's why I was mentioning that. 38-24, so obviously they're going to be hungry as well. So we look forward to that game, Coach. We look forward to rebounding. We know the work's going in right now. We thank you for joining us on State of the Frogs. We look forward to the weeks to come. But great to be sitting here with you again.
Yeah, appreciate you guys, and look forward to getting back out on Saturday and playing better and winning a football game. I think the thing that we're all accustomed to winning around here, and so ready to get back on track.
Thank you guys for watching State of the Frogs. I'm J.W. Wilson, your host, and here's your coach, Sonny Dykes. Go Frogs.
Roxo Media House.